Welcome, folks. This is going to be another one of those situations where I'm filming two videos at once. One of them's going to be just general, working on the fleet cars before we take them up this weekend to the lot. The other is going to be a how-to. In this case, we're going to be doing a how-to on how to install a cold air intake kit on a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500 5.9 liter V8 club cab. What's a cold intake, you ask? What does it do? I don't know what it is, and I suppose it takes in cold air. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I'm a computer guy. Jim sent this. He didn't expect me to install it because, like I said, I'm a computer guy. But I figured I'd give it a shot. But I think he's going to be sorely disappointed because unless he only intends this to work in February, there is no cold air in Florida. But there's a really fancy hat. Really cool, I don't know, sort of looks like a techno lava lamp. Some kind of a trim, more trim. A red hose, obviously for drinking slushies. This looks like it's gonna be blocking hot air, which good luck with that. Again, this is Florida. Lots of bits and parts, more fluffy stuff. A really cool, looks like this is clearly a neck for like a robot. It's not a piece of armor. Oh, hey, I can fit through it almost. Dude, Renfest, I'm coming. See, it's a target. I just squeeze the trigger. This is my sight right here. And this is where I reload. Okay. Maybe not. Lots of bubble wrap. And the part that we're really going to be doing today, the box. This obviously goes inside the truck, and the truck is clearly not inside my office here. I was going to do this outside in the tailgate of the truck. This is, hurricane season in Florida, and it's not giving us a hurricane today, but it's given us an awful lot of thunder and lightning and rain. So I decided to come do it in here. A lot less mosquitoes, a lot less, lightning and rain. And this part, I'm just constructing a box to stick my C3PO arm through. So yeah, all this stuff, frankly, not going to be used today. I'm going to try to install this tomorrow. I do like the hat, though. This is like a hat cannon. All right. Got him, sir. So let me put this back. Always have a sharp box knife. A dull box knife is a sharp weapon. Okay, that's a bad... I'm going to work on that one. A dull box knife, a dull any knife is a stupid weapon because you're more likely to hurt yourself than cut something you intend to cut. Why? Because you're exerting excess force and you can slip and just run the thing right through your wrist. So the cool thing about this, there's a big old chasm space on the passenger side of 2001 Dodge Ram 1500. And this thing cleverly just kind of bolts right into it. Like it uses a lot of the holes that aren't currently used by the truck. Let me see if I can get the logo through the hole. Oh, look at that. That's cool. I don't know why I'm so freaking amused by that. Be back. First, I want to make sure I've got all my bits. Man, that's a handy sized bag. Too bad it's greasy and gross. Oh, look at that. Came with an Allen wrench. I came with my Allen wrench kits. Whatever. The other things I got is a 3/8 and a 7/16 ratchety wrench thing, and 5/16, which the video that I was watching says I need. And I got another 3/8 in case I need to, hold it on the other side. Most of this stuff I'm not going to need until I'm actually installing it. There's zero instructions with this. The guy's video was super helpful, but even he doesn't really tell you what he's doing. He just sort of takes you along as he's doing it. So there's going to be a little bit of inference and process of elimination here. For example, although my math skills have always been super duper weak, there's 10 of these screws here. So I'm going to guess that these screws are the ones that go into there. I'm thinking one of these doesn't look like the other. Yep, they all kind of look the same. Let's see how many nuts we've got. 2, 4, 6, 8. And we got 10. Okay. 2, 4, 6. And we got 10 little tiny washers. I'm starting to connect the dots. You guys with me here? I'll figure out what those are for later. Ignoring, oh, matter of fact, I gotta line that up again. I can't not have it align. All right, well, let's get to work. I'm gonna assume this goes on the inside of it. Nope, that definitely goes on the inside because that won't fit in there. That definitely looks right. All right. Bro, why isn't this fitting? Not cool. Like that cannot go in there. Troubleshooting. Nope. Yes. What? Okay. Does that line up? No. Well, lovely. But that does. That's weird. Okay, brute force it is. Yeah, I'd love to drill these out, but these are powder coated, and I don't want to screw up, the powder coating. And judging by the insulation pieces that they have in there, this is not an airtight system. Matter of fact, its top lid is the hood, like it just closes on it. The rest of it's just open up and to the air. This is very much falls under the category of horseshoes and grenades, which close enough is going to work just fine. Coming into the home stretch here. I did not look up the torque specs on how to assemble this thing because I'm sure that crap doesn't even exist. Looks like installing this thing under the engine takes a flathead screwdriver. Like the hardest part is getting off the whatever you crap you call this thing, just it's much bigger. It goes around the current intake. And again, you don't even get to marvel at my automotive ignorance because again, I'm going to be fast forwarding this. Like this has got to be more dull than watching grass grow, so I'm going to be really zipping through this. Except for the how-to video. Okay, so how-to people, don't be alarmed if the holes don't line up. Like, these holes here. First of all, I guess I should have said the back piece with the hole sets down into these side pieces. Like the lip is here on the outside. And then you bolt through it. But the holes didn't line up. So what I did was I just sort of left a little gap there. So it was, the screw was coming in at an angle, but I knew that it would straighten itself out once I start wrenching it down. And because I just spun it around, I completely lost track of where I was. So starting over. All right. Well, that part's assembled. I think this will just sort of bloop, sit down into the engine kind of like this. This is the passenger side of the wall, and this will just be open and the hood will come down on top of this. Now I'm going to go get the parts, and we're just going to sort of kind of dry fit this together just as a test run of what it's going to be like when I'm actually sitting out there in the sweaty Florida heat getting attacked by mosquitoes, so that the first time I do this is not under fire. Be right back. Hose clamp, that's the word I was thinking of. All right, so C3PO's arm kind of fits through there. Gonna loosen up this hose clamp here just so we could fit it on. Oh, that is loose. All right. Sorry, Professor, nothing personal. You'll feel much better with this. Super cool lava lamp attached to you. Plastic film around that. All right, I'll get that off later. That's so this doesn't get dirty. It's going in an engine compartment. It's going to get dirty. Super airtight. I wonder why there's 3 of these, because 2 of them is going to be more than enough. Let's see if the professor's arm can still fit through Yep. All right. Sweet. Extra. And this big old sippy straw. Well, I'll show you that later. I don't know if this is intended to make the corner or if I'm going to be cutting that. Let's find out. All right. Extra. Love it. This is a big rubber band. Sort of. This is what's going to connect C-3PO's arm to my cool hat launcher. It's not the kind of rubber band that my sister would be able to, you know, if we were still back in high school, magically flick across her teacher's pencil that she was writing with. That's what she claims happened anyway. I wasn't there. We're 3 years apart, so if I was in her English class, either I was super genius or she was super stupid, and neither's the case, so I just have to take her story at face value. All right, well, we're just about done here. I'm not going to tighten these because that would be stupid. This is a dry fit. All right, my jackery is going to play the part of my engine. We're going to connect the little sippy straw, which I understand goes to some sort of a vacuum thingamaboppy, and I'm guessing the little tiny hose clamp goes over it. We'll find out. Yo, Professor, you got to play ball here. Oh. Well, at least I know this thing's not coming off because I can barely get it to go on. All right, let's take a little inspection tour here. So again, this is the, you know, side of the truck. Hood comes down on this, sealing it all off. This makes it super whatever tight. And then the professor's arm comes out of here. This bolts onto something really cool with this sort of standoff thing. The vacuum hose here connects to that little pipe, goes off to wherever the crap that goes. This connects to the hat launcher. And again, the jackery is the top of the engine, whatever that thing is, hose clamped on. Nice, got the box assembled. Now I can disassemble it all and wait till tomorrow to install it. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Got all the parts out. Since yesterday, when we were putting this thing together, I did cut up this trim. Turns out there's metal in there. That's why the thing said tin snips. Boy, were my office scissors surprised. So anyways, I cut these so that it fits that nice. That part is not on camera, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So we'll just lay out the parts here. The hat launcher, the lava lamp, C-3PO's arm, and the tubey thing. Big rubber band for my sister to shoot the teacher with. Not shoot the teacher. Shoot the rubber band around the teacher's pencil. Let's not get carried away with. We do not condone school shooting or bringing anything other than rubber bands to school. I always put things right in front of the camera, don't I? So I'm placing this rubberized standoff thing. This is the part that goes into the professor's little arm thing. So the professor's little arm thing gets attached in that hole right there. So this thing needs to be waiting for it, kind of like that. All right, I'm going to keep the washer. No, I'm not, because that is a slide-on thing. See, now this, from what I saw in the video, this doesn't sit nice and like flush. It actually gets kind of bent, so I'm going to leave that loose for now. I don't currently know what this goes to. One of them goes into there. I'm guessing it's these holes. Boop. So I think I'll find out. One of the holes that these goes into already has a bolt in it. We'll take that out and see if it can be reused, because I'd much rather use, you know, the Dodge part, as long as it's not rusty. We're back. We're in the shade, and I'm ready to do this. Can't say I'm not totally nervous, but I will get past that. Just because there's a lot of automotive-y crap here. And this thing is so big, any angle I get is going to be me just kind of like leaned over. So but let's just get right into it. That is doubtless the hose that the sippy straw is going to go into. Yeah. All right. Hello, viewers. Ew. Check that out. It's my high school colors. Now, some people say we need to recover this bad boy. I'm pretty sure the new part came with it. This one looks cooler, so I'm going to remove it. Just always want to be careful with these things because I think the world comes to an end if you pull the screw out all the way. Hope I don't have to roll back on this whole thing, and I just destroyed that. Alrighty. Okay. Old system removed. Cool. I'm told this thing is safe. This line here might need to be bent just a bit. Wow. That's barely even hanging on to. That's some air conditioning thing. So, yeah, let's go get some parts. Nope, I think they're right. I do not see a hose clamp on this hat launcher thing, so we'll reuse the old one. Let's just sort of provisionally set this down in there to see where it goes. Yeah, I see what that guy meant. That is not a super comfortable. Okay, so he said this just needs to be gently bent. Yo, how do you gently bend an air conditioning thing? And this is where I'm out of my depth, to be honest. Shouldn't be messing with this crap because I'm not gearhead enough to know what can be messed with. So it looks like that. I know you can't see it, but there's an unused bolt right here. It looks like that goes into this. And I haven't been able to line things up enough to know what this one. I am gonna. Whoa. All right. Something plastic just fell off, and that's not cool. All right. So it looks like that. Looks like this side reuses this one, which I suspect is what this is kind of intended for. No idea what that came off of. All right. Let me see if I can gently. If this thing breaks and like refrigerant starts flowing all over the place and I turn into the abominable snow monster, kids, I love you. I'm still your dad just because I'm frozen. All right, I can live with that and I can live with that. All right, let's get those off. Nope. 13 mil. Yo, the dude in the video was able to just sort of gently bend this. It's not gently bending for me. Or that's not long enough. No, you're not allowed to fall down. This is my overkill extender, but it'll get me past the current problem. All right, that's good enough. All righty, time for the professor and the lava lamp. I don't see it. So that kind of goes over. Okay, so that goes around that, and that goes down like that, I think. I did end up reusing the hose clamp from the original air filter housing, and I put the hat launcher on and it tightened up right nice. Oh, and this vacuum hose is what the sippy straw plugs into, and it looks like it's just going to kind of do that, and I've got this little guy to go over it. Frankly, I'll do that later, because right now I got to get, maybe I will do that now, because then I could tuck it out of the way, and hopefully it doesn't mind making a loop. Okay, sippy straw connected to the vacuum hosey thing. I only know it's a vacuum hose thing because that's what somebody on one of the videos said it was, but it's obvious. It just pops out of this little hole from the old housing. So it goes right into the sippy straw. All right, time for my sister's rubber band. All right, let's make these hose clamps so they both point the same direction. These little rubber band things, I remember using these when I was doing some plumbing in my mother-in-law's house, and they felt just as sketchy then. It's like, is that really like a bona fide solution? Is that seriously going to hold stuff? Okay, that's on tight, that's on tight, that's tight enough. The air conditioning thing's going to either break or not. That's future Mike's problem. All right, so now the last bit is, it's the only part remaining, is the sled on the lava lamp. Lava lamp slid on. Folks, I think we're done. Let's get all this crap out of the way. Like the guy on Doc Hollywood said, there's always extra parts. I think I already made that joke. Nope. Not going to button up before I test it, because then I know it'll fail. And I'm going to try to tighten down the professor's little connector thingy a bit more. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. All right, this is solid. Okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to be listening for. Whatever. Looks good. Now let's see how the lid closes. We're not going to be able to see it for long, but it closes. So I hope that was helpful for any of you who get one of these. If a complete mechanical buffoon like myself was able to put it on, I promise you can too. Anyways, thanks for coming along. Like and subscribe, and we will see you guys later.